Hi, everybody. This is Janet Wright. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Um, this is going to be a live stream group energy healing. And if you don't know me, welcome, welcome. If you do know me, welcome, welcome. It's going to be a healing where I explain what I do. So if you are not a prepaid participant receiving the healing from me, you could watch anyway and heal yourself as you watch. Hi, I got my first hello. I'm gonna chat hello as well. Okay, so let's see, what do I want to say? Well, I do like the hello, so if you did want to type hello, that would be cute. But other than that, I'm gonna go right into, I'll catch up on reading the highs. Hey. I'll catch up on reading those soon, but I did want to talk about what you're in for, what we're gonna do today. This is the first in a set of 3 group energy healings called the triplet group energy healing set. This is Bambi coming to say hi too. Hey Bambi. Hi. So this triplet group energy healing set, the theme is good energy in the afternoon and evenings. So that includes having enough focus, being present, having positive, like an enjoyable experience of your afternoon and evenings, basically. Good mood, being able to go to bed on time, whatever your on time is for going to bed. So it's an interesting one because I want to help people so that their energy doesn't break down so much and shut down so much in the afternoons and evenings, so that you can which is pretty nuanced because you don't want to like over rev and then stay up all night, you know. So it's like you want enough energy throughout the afternoon and evening and focus to do what you need to do, but then also enough sort of presence of mind and moderation maybe within yourself to be able to rev down for your bedtime and remember sort of inner wisdom stuff about what you should be eating or not eating in the evenings and when is best for you to go to bed, stuff like that. So it's very interesting, and I'm really glad we have 3 healings in this triplet group energy healing set to work on all that, because there's a lot to it. But it should be really interesting. So let's see. I'm going to see how many people we have watching because I don't see a lot of chat comments, so I'm just curious. Let's see. 9 viewers. All right. Friday. A lot of people are working on Fridays. Maybe that's why. So this healing is actually going to be for 100 prepaid participants. They don't have to be watching while they get the healing. So a lot of them are working right now. But some of them are sleeping, depending on what part of the world they're in and what time it is for them. So I did want to state the fun facts of what countries people are in. This is Zen. She's saying hi too. She's not very friendly. I mean, she's nice, but she's cranky too. She's nice to me. Zen, you want to say hi to everybody? So I can't like really move her. She's so picky. There, that's Zen. But anyway, so the fun facts about the participants: there are 100 prepaid participants that I am going to be healing in this healing and the other 2 in this triplet set. And they're in 12 different countries, which is close to a record, but maybe we've done 12 before. Not sure. And including 7 kids. So that's super cute. Ages 6 to 15. So hi, kids. The people, all the 100 participants, the breakdown of where they are in the world, in those 12 countries. US, there are 73 participants, 5 in Qatar, 5 in Indonesia, 4 in the UK, 4 in Canada, 2 in the United Arab Emirates, and 2 in Australia, and 1 in India, and 1 in New Zealand, 1 each in Spain, Bermuda, and South Korea. So, hi everybody. Sandra, you're gonna be cranky. All right. So I can explain to you too, just as a quick overview. Oh, I think this video isn't going to have a Q&A at the end of it, because I want this one to be better when it turns into a video, like this live stream. If we can vote at the end, if we have enough people that want a Q&A, and I feel in the mood for it, I'll do a separate live stream right after this for a Q&A, but this live stream won't have a Q&A at the end. But like I said, I can do a quick vote at the end. If we have a bunch of participants that want one and I feel like it, then, you know, like we could take like a 15-minute break and then do a Q&A live stream after it, but we'll see. But that way this video will be more concise and it'll be all healing, the whole healing. The whole video, once it turns into a video, will be all walkthrough healing, which, you know, is useful for all of us later when we want to use it for a walkthrough. So the general healing stuff that I'm going to be doing, because there's overall healing to get you flowing and present enough, and then there's theme specific to work on that good afternoon and evening part, and you need both those aspects, the overall healing and the theme specific, in order for it to be as effective as possible. So the regular general stuff we're doing is a bunch of stuff actually. Grounding, of course, unblocking your grounding, making it really wide. Aura repair, of course, to the regular auras, the astral body aura, the physical body aura, just making sure there are no rips in them. Make sure it's nice and whole and flowing. And Wei Qi aura, your Wei Qi auras, those are for strong energy boundaries and other aspects. It's a part of your spirit, these 15 Wei Qi auras that you have. And Wei Qi is a Chinese medicine concept that the angels kind of, this is a cousin of that the angels explained to me. So anyway, you have these extra auras, there are 15 of them, and they're all the same size, and it's just a part of your eternal spirit, you as a spirit. And those are good for strong energy boundaries. And so we're going to be healing and repairing those as a part of the general healing in today. And also the rings. Each of those 15 Wei Qi auras has a gold ring at the top, the bottom, and the front and the back. And those rings, they help the integrity of that Wei Qi aura to be whole and strong and self-healing. So if you repair the rings, it creates this really cool, it's a little bit like a crystal grid or something, where just the vibration of it keeps it all together and helps it to heal itself. So very, very cool. So we're going to repair everybody's rings of their Wei Qi auras. And I have seen that, because I did that in the January triplet set too, that actually does help people to, it does factor into having stronger boundaries and having less breakdown of your energy. So we're going to be doing that in the March triplet set too, the Wei Qi aura repair and the Wei Qi aura rings, repairing the rings of the Wei Qi auras. I mean, we may do that in all triplet sets forever, we'll see. But we'll definitely do it in, today, and then also in the March triplet set as well. 2020 is the year currently, in case you're watching this much later. And then we will, I don't think we're going to be doing it today, but we're going to be, because with the Wei Qi aura stuff, that'll be a lot of general healing time. But the GV and CV meridians, we're going to do that on the Sunday as a part of the Sunday healing. That's in 2 days. In the general healing section, we'll do GV and CV meridian repair, because I saw that could help the participants. So that's the general healing. It'll be grounding, aura repair, Wei Qi aura repair, Wei Qi aura rings repair, all for strong energy boundaries. Chakra. Oh, you know what? Too, we're going to be doing aura layers 2 and 1. Those are the innermost ones, and I did see that most people had, not everybody, but probably, definitely, maybe like 2/3 of the participants had a good deal of compression in their first layer and their second layer of their auras, the innermost layers that are maintained by the first chakra and the second chakra. So first chakra is courage, safety, and abundance. And that chakra keeps your flow going in the innermost layer of your aura, your first layer. So this first layer also helps with safety, courage, and abundance. And then your second chakra, emotions, sensuality, sexuality, that generates and maintains your second layer of your aura. So that means your second layer of your aura is also for emotional wellness and stability, and sexuality and sensuality, enjoying your senses like taste, fabric, etc. Feeling fabric. So anyway, that probably in every healing in this triplet set we'll be doing second and first layer work, just to kind of poof it out more, help melt the energy blocks in those aura layers, those innermost 2 aura layers in particular. So that's what the general healing part of this live stream is going to be. And then we're going to be doing the good energy in afternoon and evening work, of course, some today, some on Friday, some on Tuesday. And what I was looking at, that overall, and I'm going to give like a nutshell version of it right now, just so you know where we're headed. Yeah, it'll be very high level right now because I haven't repaired people's aura yet. So I think some people will be like, what are you saying? So I'll give it really high level right now. Basically, the better non-resistance and flow you have within your physical body, like you as a spirit being at non-resistance, plus your physical body, like the energy in your bones and also your physical body's aura, the more flowing that is, the more that you can individually have a good afternoon and evening, even though many people on the planet are not having a good afternoon and evening. You know, in your you know, many people that are having afternoons and evenings right now are not having a good time. You can have a good time. That's basically what you're doing, because you can't personally, you know, single-handedly make everyone on the planet have good afternoons and evenings, right? So you have to kind of unmatch the masses, and you have to encourage your physical body to unmatch the masses, and that's sort of the trick of it. Trick maybe is a funny way to say it, but that's the one of the keys of it, is you have to have enough presence and you have to manage the flow of, say, like the energy of your physical bones, so that you can just kind of be your own individual, you know, force of, you know, harmony and productivity throughout the afternoon and evening, and then wisdom, you know, throughout your evening eating choices and your evening bedtime decisions, you know. So that's what we're going to help you with in this triplet set, is to have much better flow in your physical body's aura and your physical body, like the physical bones, and just less resistance, so that you can not shut down when everybody else shuts down, basically. Okay, so let's get to healing, so that so that this stuff makes more sense, right? It'll make more sense the more present you get. So I'm going to put my glasses on because I need them to see, to read. You know, it's funny, I didn't always need glasses to read, just in the last couple years, but I had a lot of denial about it. I didn't even realize. I was like squinting a lot, and I was like, why did they write this in such small font? So I didn't realize I just needed reading glasses. So it's a good illustration of denial. Okay, so I have some good mornings, hellos, good morning, hi Bambi, hi Zen, hello, hi everyone. Yes, so thank you very much. Zen, you're so crabby. Oh my gosh. I would knock her off my lap, but that knocks her right into where the dogs are sleeping, so I can't really knock her off. There we go. That's the thing with cats, you have to sort of wait till they want what you want rather than like exerting your will on them. It doesn't work. Okay, cool. Yay. All right, so let's do it. I'm going to say hello to all my participants again on a spirit level so they all know that we're starting. Everyone's so cute. Makes me smile. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start with a combo of the aura and the grounding, which you could do if you want also. Just imagine like a copy out in front of you of, you know, the big bubble that is your aura, and then your grounding. And now if you've never worked on grounding before or you haven't worked on it in a while, your grounding may have gotten very skinny. It can do that just if you're stressed out and you just forget to check your grounding. It gets more and more narrow, more and more clogged. So then you can just recreate it. You know, get rid of that one, make a brand new one that's as wide as your whole aura. That is red or orange or yellow. And it goes all the way around you, right? So I don't need my glasses for this part because I wrote everybody's names, all the participant names in really big font, so I can still see it. Anyway, so just imagine the big bubble for your aura and just wash that out with gold light from your hands. Your hand chakras generate energy, and you can set your intention. Also, your fingertip chakras. They all generate energy naturally. And so if you unblock them and set them with your intention to generate gold energy, that's a nice vibration. The color gold, metallic looking gold. It's a high vibration, but it's not too high, so it's like a lubricant. It helps you let go of things. And it helps you repair. So just wash out your whole aura. And if you don't have hands free, like say you're on the train and you don't want to look funny, you know, or you're cooking or something, just imagine big gold suns that do the work that I'm doing with my hands. Just imagine giant gold suns that are washing out the part of your aura that needs healing, or the part of, you know, whatever chakra or whatever. Just do it with gold suns then, that you create with your intention. So anyway, just use your imagination. It doesn't matter if you can't see energy. Typically people don't see energy for a while when they're beginning. I mean, they don't see it at all. And then later, they still don't see it like as beautiful as a painting. They might see, you know, the outline of it, which is good enough. But before you see, you can still work on it with your imagination and your thought and your intention. So what we're doing is we're doing aura repair right now. And I have videos I'll link later about aura repair. But you just wash out the ripped parts with your intention. You wash out the ripped parts with gold light. And once they get cleaned out enough, then they start to repair. And this is always good to do, even if you feel like you don't need it. It's still okay to do, because it'll just help you dislodge blocked energy, and maybe some compressed parts can start to expand and flow better, like those inner layers of people's aura that we're going to be working on to help people expand those. And like I said, the grounding, you want that. I suggest that it's a wide, you use a very wide grounding, which doesn't come naturally to, at least in the participants that I work with. Most people don't, like when they're newbies, they don't know to use a wide grounding. So then I'm reminding you, create it to be very wide as your whole aura, all the way around you. So my aura is as wide as like the heel of my hand right here. If I stretch it out, that's how wide my aura is. So if your aura, you let it expand as much as you need, it's probably going to be that wide for you. Your aura, it's funny because I feel like your aura is like the really less popular twin of your chakras. Like chakras, everyone thinks about chakras, and chakras are so important. But your aura, they're like, whatever. When's she going to get to the chakras? Yeah. But your aura is your first line of defense, basically. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh line of defense before your chakras. So it's really important, even just for that reason, for energy safety. And then also, it's important for everything, like how you feel, how productive you are, because it's like a cooperative system between the chakras and the aura. Each chakra has to maintain the flow in the aura layer, in its aura layer. So if your aura layer is too clogged up, then the chakra is overworking and unsuccessful. It just doesn't work right. So you need both. You need the flowing aura layer and the unblocked chakra that's fully repaired. They're cooperative. They're fully cooperative. So if you're only addressing one part of the system, you're not gonna have as good results. So again, we're just repairing the aura. In the top, people have some like straight above your head. It's easy to get a lot of compression right here. So like on AcuDoll, right up here. It's easy to get a lot of compression there. So I'm just helping people to expand. Just when you melt away the energy blocks, then your aura naturally flows better and gets a little bigger. A lot of people need this right now. The top of the aura, I can feel that. I mean, I needed it too, but a lot of people really need it above the head. It's like everything's just shoved down. Like the aura, rather than being nice and poofy and expanded, is like right here, and that's very stressful. Just that one thing. So I'm just helping people to melt the energy blocks that built up here. And you can just have energy blocks here. I mean, not through anything terrible, it's just you're trying to bring in new energy and there's not enough room. So it just all compresses, like there's not enough flow to bring in what you want to bring in. And so it's just this big traffic jam. So again, I'm just working this part above the head, which you can do too, with a copy out in front of you, or just imagine gold suns up here, just really melting away all this compressed energy, all the blocks. And the more flow you have above your head, the better you feel when you wake up in the morning. So that's important. The healing masterclass that we do this month will be about waking up and good sleep, but also waking up well, having enough energy and inspiration and motivation without caffeine potentially to get through your morning in a enjoyable and productive way. A lot of people unfortunately rely on caffeine, which is I didn't know for most of my life. I didn't realize that caffeine, like according to Chinese medicine, and I've experienced it, so I know it's true. Caffeine, even like black tea over time, depletes your chi. So chi is like this really important thing to make you feel like you have get up and go. And so caffeine, while it gives you the illusion of having awesome chi while you have that caffeine buzz, it actually depletes in a lasting way your chi. So then your chi gets lower and lower and lower and lower. So then you get kind of more hooked on the caffeine because you need it because you are losing chi. So anyway, so this triplet set plus the other one this month, the February 2020 Healing Masterclass, I feel like are a great companion set because your energy in the afternoon and evenings really helps you to be more ready when you wake up the next day, and also vice versa, like your energy, what you do to yourself in the morning, how healthy it is, how moderate you are with everything, and that helps your evening and your sleep. And so it's all like a system. But anyway, so now we're going to specifically work layers 2 and 1, and we're going to keep doing the grounding, but people did, yeah, let's do the grounding just a little bit more. People did get their wide groundings. They did a good job with that. But they are kind of blocked up still, particularly in that core center part. The grounding is a little blocked up. Part of that's because, like, say you, well, some people, their core part of their grounding is always blocked. They just don't unblock it. And that is, I mean, if you were really non-resistant, like really, then the inner core part of your grounding probably would be hardly ever blocked. That meaning the part straight down from like your hips and your spine all the way down to the core of the earth, that innermost part, as opposed to the parts out here and in back and in front, that inner core part, it's also needs to be unblocked, right? So you can think about letting go. It's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. I think blending affirmations in are good. Sometimes when I'm using one of these walkthroughs and I'm cooking or something, maybe some aspect of what the walkthrough is won't resonate, but then the affirmation really sinks in, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can say I can let go. I can let go as I'm feeding my cats. So I think it's good to use everything you can. The hands, if you can, the affirmations, the imagination, the intention. So I can let go. Deep breath. I can let go. It's okay to let go. You could just imagine like any resistance that you have in your spine, like in this core part of your body, and just, kind of try to ease out of it a little bit. I can let go. It's okay. And then beneath you in your grounding, just imagine that loosening up. And I like to imagine the most blocked parts and melt those. But the reverse strategy also is nice sometimes too. You imagine what's working, like imagine the parts of your grounding that are flowing, and then just kind of add to that, expand that more of it and more of it and more of it is flowing. Because sometimes I think people, if you always focus on what's not working, what's blocked, you could get maybe a little too resistant about it and be like, come on, unblock. So if you just observe, some things that are blocked and some things that are flowing, and then just relax the blocked parts with the gold light and with your intention. So what are we doing? We're kind of zooming in especially on the spinal column and the chakras and, the major chakras along the spine, and then the core part of the grounding, the innermost part of the grounding all the way down to the core of the earth. Now we're just running gold light through all of it at once. And this is also theme related because I had seen that if you have better flow in your bones, your physical body's bones, that can help you unmatch group pain and resistance in the afternoon and evenings and have a much better afternoon and evening. So while you're at it, while you're thinking about non-resistance along your spine and the core part of your grounding, you can just think of non-resistance for your spine, your physical bones. Just wash out any resistance that got stored in your bones, because energy, I didn't realize this so much before until I was working with large groups of people on the bones, but boy, can they store energy. I mean, I didn't know that before. I know chakras can store energy, the aura can store energy. I knew that organs could store energy, but bones can store a lot of energy. And even from past lives, even though you had only these bones for this life, and you'll be done with them at some point at the end of this life, but your spirit, like when you come into the life, your spirit stuff gets put onto your physical body, and therefore your physical body carries this stuff, so then you can clear it too. So then it's like it'll help you on an eternal level even to heal your bones, because a lot of what you're carrying on your bones is your past life baggage, which I did not know before. Before about, I don't know, 2 years ago, when I was doing the bones triplet set. At some point we did some bone triplets healings. So anyway, just run gold light through your spine, all the vertebrae bones in your spine, the vertebral bones in your spine, and then your pelvic bones, your pelvis. So like these big, your ilium bones in your pelvis. Almost didn't remember what they were called. I have a video that specifically works on the bones of the spine, and then one that works on the hips and the legs. So I can link that later if you want to just like focus on it a little more with a much shorter video. I have those. But anyway, right now we're just using gold light and helping you to have better and better and better flow in your bones that make up your hip, like your pelvis bones, the ilium bones in your pelvis, and all your bones of your vertebrae, in your spine, all the bones in your spine. Why are we doing this? Well, it helps you even eternally because you're clearing past life baggage, so it'll help lighten up your next life. In addition to that, it helps you unmatch group pain and resistance every afternoon and evening if you have good flow here in your physical body's bones. So, I'm just doing it like a little teeny bit on the bones of the skull, because that is like so cool. Skull stuff is the coolest stuff. And then your jawbone is very cool too. That stores a ton of energy. So why are we doing this? It is theme related even. It's going to help you unmatch everybody else in the afternoon and evening. All right, so everybody's aura. Let's do the bottom of the aura. That video, Get Present in Second and First Chakra. I'll link that below later. But that is good for clearing stagnation in your second and first layers, and especially down here at the bottom, which, if you're going to unblock one part of your space and your aura is already fine and your grounding's already fine, then it probably right here would be the next most effective thing to unblock. Right here, first layer down here beneath your feet, and second layer beneath your feet. All of them are good to unblock, but you may already have pretty good flow, in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, but maybe not 2 and 1. So once you melt away the blocked energy here, then it just helps the release throughout the aura layers, and then you're going to get more present in your chakras. So again, I'm just running gold light in the lower part of the aura, beneath the feet, around the ankles, like this whole part right here, but especially here. But while we're here, we may as well do over there and in back. And again, if you don't have hands free, you can do it with gold suns. Just make a lot of gold suns around your feet, beneath your feet. You can think about letting go. So your aura is your friend, people. People think about chakras, but the aura is a really, really big deal. Because if you have good flow, if your aura is whole and you have good flow throughout your aura, this job of your chakras is like exponentially easier. Like your chakras can spin so much easier, they can release energy so much easier. So much more easily. My ability to speak properly is not as good when I'm doing healings at the same time. So, and let's do the bones of the feet since we're down here, because that's another thing I saw, the bones of the spine, the hips, and the feet. All the bones in the body really help if you have good flow everywhere. So like hands are really fun to do too. And like we said, the jaw and the skull is really fun. But, if you're going to sort of pick, if you want to minimize the work, and like, okay, well, where do I start, Janet? Then I would say spine, hips, and feet bones. Just because, if your feet bones have good flow, it's going to encourage you to be in your whole leg more. And legs are very important in so many levels. So feet. So you just imagine, and I do have that leg video I have on the bones of the leg also does the bones of the feet. You just imagine the bones in your feet and run gold light through them. And just notice, what do you have stored in your feet that you can let go of now? Maybe you have some anger, some sadness, some fear stored in your feet. And I don't feel like doing them both separately like this, one foot, the other foot, so I'm going to make a composite copy that is, it looks like one foot, but it's really both feet that I'm healing at the same time. And you want to clear what is healthy and gentle to clear at this time. So that's just your intention. I want to heal, repair, clear what's healthy and gentle to do at this time. All right. So again, we're doing all the bones. I'm adding the shoulders and the arms and the hands just real briefly. Adding meaning also sending gold light there. So shoulders, rib cage too. Let's add that. People seem to have a lot of tension, like in the upper back where their spine connects to their rib cage. And the arms again. There we go. And again, we want to clear enough so that it's like they resonate, they vibrate. Your bones resonate in a positive way, that you want to be in your bones. You know, you can't be super present if you don't like the vibration that your body has. So you have to be there to change that vibration. You just can't say, oh, I don't like the vibration of my body. It feels like, you know, it reminds me of my ex, or it reminds me of this or that, or this person or that person, and woo woo, I'm an empath, how terrible. You know, you have to come in and create that change. You have to say, okay, well, my body is my instrument and I'm going to play this instrument. Right? So I'm going to set the vibration. I'm going to resonate through these bones, right? These bones are mine. They're for me. You know, self-assertiveness, right? Own your bones. And again, you can do that with affirmations and intention too. My physical body is my instrument. I am grateful for my physical body. I will help my physical body to vibrate with joy today. I will help my physical body to vibrate with productivity today. Right? Joy, safety, productivity. That'd be nice, right? Joy, safety, productivity. Joy, safety, productivity. The back of the aura, I'm just going to do a little extra on the back because people have extra compression there. Compression, what I mean is like it's smushed. So I'm working on specifically the back of the aura. So, you know, your aura behind you. So it's kind of more compressed than it could be. It could be more expanded. And that way it has better flow, which helps you, all the back of all your chakras to release better. And it just helps you function a lot better and be safer, because that compression means that things are blocked up, which means your aura tears faster. Whereas if you melt the compression, you let it flow better, then you're going to be here more and you're going to keep it safe more, and it's going to be much harder for your aura to tear. But while we're at it, let's recreate your gold energy aura buffer zones. So just with your mind, just recreate your gold energy aura buffer zones. And if you consciously don't know what those are, if you're a newbie and you're a prepaid participant, you just did that, because I just checked and everybody did it. So, because people get taught things on the astral, like by being a prepaid participant, you know, the angels do a lot of work with people. I do a little work. I mean, I do work with other prepaid participants on the astral in the lead up to the healing, but I do want to be clear that the angels are really doing 95% of the work, and then I show up and do 5% of it. So I don't want to overstate my part in all of this. But anyway, what are we doing now? We're getting back up to the point, which is to heal the back of the aura. I do have a whole video on heal the back of your aura. Which, if you're advanced, that's probably not necessary, but if you're a newbie, that might be a nice video to watch, because it's just like me demoing and I'm outside and I'm just trying to drive home the point of how important the back of your aura is and how, you know, whatever. So I'll link that below later today. In the comment section, I put links. So anyway, what are we doing? We're running gold light through the back of the aura. So if you're on the train or you're cooking and you can't use your hands, just put a bunch, like 100 gold suns back here, and just, you know, wash out the back of your aura so that it can unblock more and expand more. And if you think you need more aura repair, you know, if you think that little quick part that I did at the start, maybe, you know, if you're using this as a walkthrough later, maybe that wasn't enough to fully repair all the rips in your aura. So now's your chance to finish up your repair work. And just use extra gold light so that all the rips mend up, and then your aura expands because it's not leaking anymore. So a lot of people in this healing, you know, the prepaid participants that I'm healing, they're not compressed in their outer layers in the back like 7, 6, 5, 4, but then 3, 2, 1, the ones closer to their body, are much more compressed. So I'm just using extra gold light there to help them to expand. And let's do the front again. If you get triggered, typically what that means is you have an energy block or two that has migrated to the front of your energy field, and it's kind of expanded and you have a lot of energy in it, and so it feels very uncomfortable. And so that's literally what it is to be triggered. You have some energy blocks in the front of your aura that need to be melted so that you don't feel triggered. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, they'll say, oh, you know, I'm always nervous before a presentation, or I'm always nervous, you know, before I have to go on a long trip. You know, I don't sleep well that night, or blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's been happening their whole life. So it doesn't occur to them that they could end that pattern and transcend that pattern and get into a habit of clearing their own energy blocks, so that then they don't, you know, have no sleep before a trip, or they don't get upset for 2 days after, you know, their girlfriend talks about something upsetting. You know, you can clear your triggers so that, and it's a total game changer. Like, once that light bulb goes on and you're like, oh, you know, like, oh, so my boss doesn't have to bother me so much anymore, or this political event doesn't have to be so irritating to me anymore. Oh, you know, it's completely empowering then. So anyway, so what that is you just need to melt your energy blocks, and typically they're in the front of your energy field when you are triggered. So that Get Present in Second and First Chakra video is good for that. If you want a tiny walkthrough, because it'll walk through melting energy blocks in the front of the second and the first layer. But we're gonna melt away energy blocks in all the layers in the front. So just like this, just lots of gold light. And just think about letting go, letting go. And this works well because we've already unblocked down here, you know, in the core part of the grounding, and the whole grounding, got a nice big wide grounding, you know, because if your grounding is really tiny and you're trying to do this process, it's a little silly. So let's double check. Make sure your grounding is nice and wide, maybe recreate it again, red or orange or yellow. Yeah, whichever you want. And then again, let's unblock the front of the aura. So if you get, like, you know, you're kind of feel tightness in your stomach, you know, before an event, that's just getting triggered. That means that you have some energy blocks here that are, you know, you have a lot of energy in them. It's very uncomfortable, and so it tightens up all the energy, and you literally feel it in your stomach as a tightness. But it's really, the cause of it is in your aura. It's just, well, your grounding's probably too narrow, so make your grounding big, and then wash it out. Just melt away these blocks of energy so that you can expand and flow better. And at first you might be able to go from like being totally triggered to being half triggered. And that's a huge victory. Maybe you're not good, you're not, maybe it takes a little practice to clear all your energy blocks about something, but it's important to celebrate your victories. So like say some political event, like the fact that, an example would be the fact that Trump got impeached, but then he didn't get, he got acquitted, right? So he's still in office. That could be upsetting to some people. So, one way to make it a lot less upsetting is just melt away. You think about the event just briefly, and that triggers everything, and then you just melt it away. And let's do another way to clear your triggers, which is with blanket exercise. Blanket exercise is a little like 11-minute video. I'll link later down below. But just make a big gold blanket out in front of you and dump onto it. Well, we'll do the Trump thing since I already talked about that. So any energy about, and it could be too, like I have clients in the UK, so they had the whole Brexit thing. So anything that's triggered about Brexit, anything that's triggered about, Trump, or obviously 12 countries, so there could be other political things that are triggering you in your particular country. So just dump all that onto a big blanket out in front of you, and then just say, angels, can you please double check my pile? Because there could be a little too much for you to clear all at once, or maybe not, and so your angels will fix it if it's too much to clear at once. Okay, and then now you have your pile, your angels checked it, so now you can melt it. Just go ahead and melt your pile with gold light. And just think about letting go. It's okay to let go. So cute. Like one or two of the newbies were like, it's not melting, it's not melting. And then I just did an extra little bit of gold light and they're like, oh. And it melted. But one thing to make it melt too, you could bring up red earth energy if you wanted and soak the pile in red earth energy. And you could melt away cords going into the pile from other people or from you with gold light. But if you just think about letting go, I can let go. That usually helps it melt fast. And if all that didn't work and there's still something in your pile, just say, angels, can you please help me clear that? But all the 100 prepaid participants, they all cleared it okay. Okay, so now we did the political thing just because I mentioned that, so you have to clear that. Once you mention something, that triggers it, so then it's good to clear it. But then afternoon and evenings, having good energy in the afternoon and evenings, that's our theme that we're working. So let's do that. Clear your triggers that normally get triggered in your afternoon and evenings. Maybe a workday afternoon, maybe like, oh my God, I didn't finish that yet. Wah! Or, oh my goodness, now I have to make my child take a bath. Ah! Or whatever. Right? So just whatever it normally triggers in your afternoons and evenings. Consciously or subconsciously, so you don't have to know what it is, because it could be like maybe you have some repressed anger about your spouse, or repressed anger from your childhood that just triggers, when you're making dinner or something. You don't have to know consciously what it is. Whatever triggers in your afternoons for you, in your afternoons and evenings, and just make a big pile on your blanket. Or sometimes I don't like using a blanket. Sometimes I want to make like a big gold dumpster, or a big gold box, and just dump it in the box. It doesn't matter. Just dump it out in front of you, whatever triggers in the afternoon and evenings for you. And then you could bring up red earth energy if you want, because that might make it melt better. But you can just use gold light and just think about letting go. I can let go. Or gold fire. I kind of like that with the dumpster, just use gold fire so it's a dumpster fire. And just melt away all the baggage, all the energy blocks that usually trigger in your afternoons and evenings. So if you have, and I think many people have some sort of eating issues that show up in the afternoons and evenings, maybe too much snacking, or maybe you forget to eat enough protein, or maybe your dinner choices are really not healthy, or maybe there's too much snacking after dinner, whatever it is. Just put all that baggage, subconscious or conscious, that affects your eating choices, put that on the blanket. And also let's do any baggage that affects your energy level, right? Whether you have enough energy, whether you have enough focus, just put it all, make a big pile. And say, angels, can you double check my pile? And then bring up red earth energy if you want, and then gold light. Melt it with gold light. Just melt away all the energy blocks. We're melting away energy blocks that affect your eating decisions, that affect your energy level. And if you feel like some of it's not clearing, just say, angels, can you please help me clear that? And for some people, in the afternoon and evenings, they get triggered about heart stuff, like loneliness, missing somebody, grief. Maybe your partner's passed away, or you broke up with your boyfriend or whatever. So just any kind of love life related stuff that triggers for you in your afternoon and evenings. You can put that on a big gold blanket out in front of you, and it could be subconscious. It could be even from past lives. So just go ahead and put all that out in front of you, any love life baggage that normally triggers in your afternoons and evenings. And say, angels, can you please double check my pile? And then go ahead and melt it with gold light. Just think about letting go. I can be the flow. I don't have to resist. I can just melt it with gold light. And again, if any is left over, just say, angels, can you please help me clear that? All right, so then go ahead and comb through your aura and your grounding, because we just cleared a lot and want to make sure it's all really fully melted. So we want to make sure your grounding is nice and flowing, because otherwise you get a traffic jam down there that then it like blocks everything up. So just unblock your grounding. And speaking of grief, like if you lose, say you have a pet, and your pet crosses over, your pet needs, meets its natural end, and that causes grief. So grief is, like, say an example, a client, her dog passed away, right? So she has grief about that, but it's really probably about 15% of the grief that she feels is for this current situation of her dog passing away, and the other 85% is mostly past life grief that is uncleared, because you don't always get great healings and think about this stuff in every lifetime. And so there's a lot of leftover baggage that many people have after each lifetime. And so then that really adds up. So what we can do now is just melt away all the old grief. So go ahead, we're combing through the whole aura and the grounding. So go ahead and melt away all the old grief. And we can throw loneliness in there, because loneliness is kind of a cousin of grief, I would say. They sort of vibe in a similar way. So just wash out all the loneliness and grief, because we don't want you to have to deal with that every afternoon and evening, right? So just wash that out, melt it away with gold light. And again, your intention is you're clearing as much as is healthy and gentle to clear right now. You're just letting go of old grief that maybe you don't even know about, because it could be from a past life, and consciously you don't remember it, but it still makes you feel heavy in the afternoon and evening. So go ahead and just wash that out with your intention and with gold light. And again, we're washing out the whole aura and the grounding, and we're washing out grief and loneliness. And one of the participants his grief and loneliness is such a big thing for him. He's like, yeah, but then what do I have? Like, who am I if I don't have my grief and my loneliness? And that's the thing. Try not to have a pain identity. I would call that a pain identity, where you're so used to feeling a certain way that you feel like it's a core part of you. Like it's you. I am my pain, I am my grief. That's not really, I would say that's not optimal. That's not in your best interest to be that way. Try to just think, I am an eternal soul. I am a mighty and powerful spirit. I am a mighty and eternal being, and I am not my pain, right? Because eternally, your pain actually does not benefit you. Your life experience benefits you, but your pain does not. So your life experience that you experience with, such and such person, or, being without a certain person, and what that experience was to you, what you learned, that's valuable. That you keep, and that gets filed away in your Akashic records by your angels. But the grief, that's just heavy weight that you can let go of, and that helps your spirit to let go of it. Okay, so that's the idea. You keep the knowledge, you keep the experience, and you let go of the pain. So your experience, your knowledge helps to make you who you are. That works. But your pain does not have to make you who you are. You can let go of your pain and just keep the experience and the learning, the wisdom. So you could even, use that as an affirmation. I am keeping my wisdom, I'm keeping my experiences, and I'm letting go of my pain. I'm letting go of the trauma, and I'm keeping my wisdom and my experiences. And for some people, you really have to train your mind. So you could write that affirmation down and use it, and think about it as you're stretching or something. I mean, not like you're brainwashing yourself, but it's like a different mode. Some people, they're just so used to thinking about all that's wrong, and they feel what's wrong, and it's just so strong for them. And so you actually have to train your mind to feel and think about what's right. Feel and think about your wisdom and what are you learning. And because if you're so into the negative, then you can't let go of it, right? So you're thinking about the wisdom. What am I learning, right? So I think that also is very theme related for good afternoons and evenings. And again, I'm just still combing through the aura and the chakras and the grounding. But if you can shift into, because I think some people, part of how they spiral in the afternoon and evenings, they think about what they haven't gotten done or what didn't go right today. I haven't done this yet. Oh, this, and they anticipate the problems and everything. And they're not realizing that they can just learn. Like say I look back on my workday. What can I learn from my workday? Or say I'm at the end of my day, what can I learn from today? I don't have to think of it as just, oh my gosh, I only got half of what I thought I should get done. I can just learn that, well, sometimes things take a lot longer than you think they're going to take. And that's just a fact of it. I think part of that is because your spirit on the astral can accomplish a lot. When you're just a spirit in your sleep, you can, write a whole chapter of a book or 2 chapters of a book in one night. Whereas to write that book and write 2 chapters in that book when you're awake, it could take a year to get to that point where you're ready to write those 2 chapters in the book. So that can give you a very unrealistic sense of what you can accomplish in a day, So try to just observe your actual day and observe what you're able to accomplish, and then start from that reality versus thinking, oh, that's just a disaster, what I didn't, I should have accomplished so much more. Try to just observe the reality of how do you create when you're awake, when you have a physical body and you're creating and you're awake. And think about the flow, think about your non-resistance and your learning. This is all learning. Okay. So that may sound good, but then you're like, Janet, I never do that. I always think of my day as a colossal failure. Yeah. And then I'm like, no, I can't fail again today. So let's clear baggage about that, right? Because how do you clear the pattern? You don't clear the pattern just by wanting to clear it. Like, oh yeah, I want to be more evolved and think about my day as far as like learning and experience. But you have to clear the baggage that keeps you in that old pattern. Okay, so again, let's do blanket exercise. That's easy, right? So big old blanket out in front of you, just create that with your mind, and then just put onto it any baggage that keeps you from a more evolved perspective in your afternoons and evenings. So what is blocking your evolved wisdom in your afternoons and evenings? What baggage, what energy blocks are blocking your evolved self-knowledge, self-awareness, thoughts? And just put it on the blanket and just be like, wow, that's an impressive amount of energy. And then just use gold light and melt it. And you can have your angels double check the pile. Angels, can you double check that pile so that if it's too big, your angels may adjust it, but they may say, yeah, please, that would be beautiful to clear right now. Because sometimes it's gentle to clear more. I mean, it just depends. So your angels double checking it is perfect. So I'm going to use extra gold light on all the participants' piles just to help them a little bit extra. Well, really just about 40% of the participants, because the rest of them are like, I got it, I can do it. All right, great. So let's say that one again. Any energy blocks, we're going to clear any energy blocks that keep you from a more evolved and enlightened perspective about your afternoon and evenings. And what is a more evolved perspective? One that's a little more realistic, a little more maybe amused with the realities of the physical world and how long things take, and the realities of other people if you're working with other people or children, and the realities of that. We're gonna melt away energy blocks that are preventing you from being more wise and more realistic and more enlightened in your daily afternoon and evenings. So what's blocking you from that? And just put it all on the blanket out in front of you, and then lots of gold light, just melt it away. And you can think, I can let go. You can have deep breaths. What are we melting? We're melting away energy blocks that prevent you from having a more enlightened afternoon and evening, more self-awareness, more levity, more wisdom, more realistic. All right, I'm happy about that. So real quickly, let's do Wei Qi aura rings and auras, just because we didn't do that yet. We did a lot of theme stuff, but we didn't do the Wei Qi aura repair, and I think that's always good. So with Wei Qi auras, I have a whole video on that. I'll link it later in the comment section. I have like a 45-minute video that when I first introduced Wei Qi auras, and it explains them and has a walkthrough, but this is a quick version. You just, all your Wei Qi auras, they're the same size as your regular auras, and there are 15 of them. They occupy the same space because energy doesn't that's possible. It doesn't like, it's not like, you know, one hand can't be in the same space as the other hand, right? Because that's physical stuff. But energy stuff can overlap very easily. So all your Wei Qi auras occupy the same space, right? And they're big, and hopefully they're whole. But that's the idea. They may not be whole. They may have rips in them, right? So we're going to repair them to the extent that is healthy and gentle to do right now. Because with Wei Qi auras, you know, these rips can be from past lives, and so the repair work is more powerful. And so doing as much as is healthy and gentle many times over many days is really cool. And again, Wei Qi auras, this is also very theme helpful too, because helpful with the theme of having good afternoons and evenings, because Wei Qi auras help with boundaries, strong energy boundaries. So part of the whole afternoon and evening thing is to not match the masses, you know, the masses of millions of people around you going, oh my gosh, I didn't get enough done today. Oh my gosh, I don't want to go to bed, you know, or whatever they're saying. But like people tend to, their bodies block up and then they resist, and that just creates this, you know, wow, resistance pain thing. And then that goes, and it, like everybody's kind of doing it at once, so it creates a sort of a communal vibration of pain, which is, that's part of why I like January and the New Year's time, because that's the one time of year that I really feel there's a communal positive vibe, you know. But a lot of times in the afternoon and evening, there's more of a negative communal vibe of like, whoa, I didn't get enough done, or oh, I can't get my kids to behave, oh, you know. So you don't want to match that. You want to be really flowing and have boundaries with that. And so Wei Qi auras are good for that. They help you to have those boundaries. So you're just using gold light, and your intention is that the gold light goes to all the little rips and tears, rips or tears, same thing. I don't know why I say both. It's so silly. But anyway, goes to all the rips and the Wei Qi auras, and you're healing as much as is healthy and gentle to heal right now. And then let's repair the Wei Qi aura rings, the Wei Qi aura rings. I'm going to spell that here too. So Wei Qi is a Chinese medicine concept, and then Wei Qi auras is sort of a cousin, a distant cousin of that the angels taught me. And then each Wei Qi aura has 4 rings. One on top, bottom, front, and back of each aura, of each Wei Qi aura. So there's a gold ring up here that's oriented the same way as the creative ring. So it's like it's sort of like flat like this, and it's up there. That's one, and that's at the top of the Wei Qi aura, and then there's one at the bottom of the Wei Qi aura, and then there's one in the front at the level of the 3rd chakra roughly, and in the back at that same level. So anyway, we can just repair these rings, and that helps make the whole aura even safer. So I'm sort of repairing 2 at once, the top and the bottom rings at the same time. And then the front and the back rings of all the 15 Wei Qi auras. So there are 15 rings in front, 15 rings in back. And they're oriented the same way, so it's kind of flat like that, like a flat ring like that, not like this, they're like that. I think I'm going to just do one bunch at a time, so I'm doing the back ones right now. It doesn't matter, whatever you feel works. You just send a lot of gold light to that area so they can put themselves back together, so the rings can recreate automatically. And then the front rings of the Wei Qi auras. Done. Okay, so then you just kind of check that they're all kind of talking to each other. So they all vibrate in a kind of cooperative way, just like all the chakras can do. And it's nice. It's like a little inner crystal grid in a way. Like it's just the vibrations of it are very comforting, and it just sort of helps you to feel whole, which is nice. And it's much safer. So I think that's a good place to stop. So we'll just ask the angels for a blessing and a healing at the, as we wrap up. Oops, I didn't press enter on my little, my Wei Qi aura statement. Okay, so I'm just going to double check everybody's grounding, so you can do that too. Double check your own grounding. If you're at all in doubt, make it nice and wide again. Just recreate it. Make a brand new one, red or orange or yellow. And actually, why don't you do all three? Just make a red grounding first and comb through that. Because sometimes it's easier to release at a certain vibration. And then destroy that one, make an orange grounding. And release with that. And you can unblock your orange grounding. And it's orange all the way up to your third chakra. So it's wide and it goes all the way down to the core of the earth, all the way up to your third chakra, right? So go ahead and wash out and unblock your orange grounding. And then destroy that one, make a yellow grounding, a big wide yellow grounding all the way down to the core of the earth. Because sometimes you're going to release different energy at these different vibrations. So it's nice. I would not recommend the faster moving vibrations in the rainbow, green, blue, purple, because those are too fast moving and they would be too triggering for your lower chakras. So, you could try them, but then you might have to clear some energy afterwards because you may have over triggered everything. So you could just not try them if you want to. So just do red or orange or yellow is what I would recommend for grounding. Very nice. Okay, so just double checking everything. The bones. Just check that your bones are nice and flowing. The energy is nice and flowing in your bones so that you can be in your bones. Your body is for you. Your physical body is for you, right? You can say that as an affirmation if you want. My physical body is for me. My physical body is for me. I can keep the energy flowing and safe and joyful in my physical body. Nice deep breath. Breathe into all of your physical body, the cells, the bones, everything, the joints. All right. Everybody's aura is nice and whole. You can go ahead and recreate your gold energy aura buffer zones. All right. And then just, ask your angels for a blessing and a healing. Angels, you just say that with your mind. It's super easy, but don't forget that part where you say angels, because that way your angels will hear you. Angels, can you please give me a blessing and a healing? All right. So thank you so much. So now let's take a quick vote on if we're going to have a question and answer different live stream in about 15 minutes. If you don't want one, you don't have to say no, but if you do want one, text yes just once on your little text chat thing. And if we get enough yeses fast, then I would do one. Otherwise, I'd do a separate one as a separate live stream in about 15 minutes. But I'll look right now to see if I get enough of them. I'm getting some. Because there's a lag, so I have to wait for the lag. I'm getting a couple actually. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I only got 3 yeses, but we're gonna do a mini live stream, so we'll do a short little Q&A live stream. It'll be cute. With a couple people in about 15 minutes. So everyone's welcome to join if you want. You'll see a graphic that'll say Q&A, and it'll say, you know, live, and it'll say, I don't know, 15 minutes from now, whenever that is. But it probably won't be super long, but we'll see. Oh, I got a fourth yes. Okay, cool. So that will happen. So if you want to watch that one, just like you watch this one, you just go to my YouTube channel and you'll see, oh, I'm getting more. You'll see, it'll say Q&A, but it'll take me like 5 minutes to put it up because I don't have a graphic yet that says Q&A. So I have to go into a graphics program and make a Q&A. But anyway, you'll see it, and then it'll happen in about 15 minutes from now. I got to use the restroom, take my dog out, you know. So be patient, but we'll do one. Okay. All right. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this healing, and if you could give it a thumbs up, I totally forgot to ask people to do that. So go ahead, please give this healing a thumbs up. And yeah, if you did want to say how you feel, that's always interesting too. Someone says they feel great, so thank you so much. Someone says, I don't know who that is. They said, are you teaching us to do these healings, or you doing the healing for us? I don't know who you are, so I don't know, because you're using like an anonymous name, so I don't know. I mean, if you're one of my prepaid participants, one of the 100 people, then it's both. You know, I'm doing a healing on those 100 people, and then I'm just explaining out loud what I'm doing. So for other people that watch that didn't pay me, then they're learning and they're giving themselves the healing. But for the 100 people, I am literally sending energy and literally healing their energy. So hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, feel free to post questions under any of my videos, and I will keep explaining until it makes sense. Or you could email me. My email is janet@janetwrightreadings.com. If you don't understand how these live streams work, feel free to email me with a question. Someone says, they feel good. They're clearing aura for a few days. Oh, they did not clear their aura for a few days. Yeah. Well, I'm glad this feels good. Yes, your aura affects your body a lot. Specifically because your physical body has its own aura. So that really affects your physical body and how it feels and how it functions. So anyway, okay, let's end this so that the live stream, so the saved video later isn't super long. Okay, bye. And I'll see some of you soon in a Q&A that I'm gonna do in like 15 minutes. Okay, bye.